We now have 2 dead National Guard members because of you and your rhetoric. And the blood is on you.
Hello, my friends. Welcome to the show. We have a great one planned for you today. So glad you could be here. I do need to make amends just a little bit because the sponsor of today's episode actually came in a couple of days ago. So I do apologize, but the sponsor of today's episode is @WarriorArtist 2024. Thank you very much, Warrior. I do appreciate it. And I'm assuming that everybody that watches the Dave Show appreciates it as well. So I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving, assuming you live in the United States. But in any case, I hope you have a wonderful day today. And again, thank you for your ongoing support of the channel. And sorry for the slight delay in acknowledging your generosity. All right, my friends, we have a lot of show to get to. Now, yesterday was the Thanksgiving special, and I wanted to just focus on Thanksgiving, on that theme, even though there was horrendous news coming out of Washington, D.C. with the shooting of the National Guardsmen. But today we're going to be covering that, and we're pretty much just going to focus on that. So let's get into it, my friends. Let's get to the rest of the show. After the horrifying public execution of 2 National Guardsmen, President Trump said that he's going to be revisiting, taking a look at the vetting process of all of those people that came over from Afghanistan during the godless Biden administration. We'll get to a clip from President Trump in a moment, but let's take a look at a meme that kind of sums it all up. We have gasp, you're being mean to them, which is the political correctness, pretty much everybody on the left. And of course, they're clutching their pearls. And then we have President Trump putting down the hammer, putting down the gate, and is going to start vetting these people much more intensely. Here's President Trump talking about the aliens from Afghanistan, and quite frankly, any legal or illegal alien that is here in America. And if they don't love this country and do a complete buy-in to the American culture, the American way of life, well, we don't want them.
We're not going to put up with these kind of assaults on law and order by people who shouldn't even be in our country. We must now re-examine every single alien who has entered our country from Afghanistan under Biden, and we must take all necessary measures to ensure the removal of any alien from any country who does not belong here or add benefit to our country. If they can't love our country, we don't want them. America will never bend and never yield in the face of terror. And at the same time, we will not be deterred from the mission these service members were so nobly fulfilling.
In the Biden administration, the Democrats have inflicted on this nation the worst national security threat in our history. We've never faced a threat like this. 20 million people brought into our country from the most failed societies on earth. Afghanistan, Somalia, Libya, Iraq, brought here. No vetting, no conditions, no rules. Brought here on visas, brought here as refugees, brought here as asylees, brought here as illegals. Brought here in every way imaginable, by plane, train, bus, automobile, by land, by sea. For 4 straight years, they deluged this country. And now more blood is being spilled as a result. What you heard tonight from President Trump, the breaking news here tonight, is saying that his government is going to accelerate efforts to review every person added to this country over the last 20 years, or the last 4 years, all 20 million. Now, obviously, if you're illegal, you're out automatically. But everybody else who is brought here, refugee, asylum status, whatever status, as he said, if you're not someone who loves this country, if you're not adding benefit to this country, then we're going to send you out of this country. Because it's enough already. No one else has to die. No one else has to be murdered. No one else has to be shot. No more empty seats are needed at the Thanksgiving table or the Christmas table because of what Democrats have done to this country. So tonight we heard from a commander-in-chief a historic announcement, a brave announcement, exactly what America needed to hear, Kellyanne.
And here are a couple of clips concerning the terrorist attack against the National Guard over the Thanksgiving weekend. And it is, as you would expect, just vile, completely anti-American. And I don't really know what needs to be done with these people, but we need to do something, my friends. Check it out.
Shout out to the patriot who kirked 2 federal agents near the White House. This is exactly how we need to be dealing with violent dictatorships. Embrace our Second Amendment rights. Hopefully they'll think twice about serving this racist administration.
Oh, now you're starting to bring up how great the Second Amendment is? Well, too bad nobody on the left even knows how to pick up a gun, let alone shoot one, you piece of vile trash.
I don't want anyone to act surprised that 2 National Guard members were killed today. When you declare a war on the people that's based on racism and hate, what do you think's going to happen? You think you're the only one that's armed? You think that this is just a one-sided G-side, like they're doing over there? Yeah, no. I don't know the whole story. I don't know what happened. But violence breeds violence. Here we go.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
With all the Democratic rhetoric, especially of late, with the seditious six, basically telling people in the military to disobey orders, telling the citizens of this country that the National Guard, they're going to get an itchy finger and they're going to start shooting and killing American citizens. Look, the blood of these 2 fallen guardsmen are squarely on their hands. And I think we now have a new symbol for the Democratic Party. Let's take a look at that. Now, I blurred it slightly because, I don't know, YouTube, they don't think we're adults or something that can handle whatever. But I think you get the idea of what is happening here with these hands and what's on them. Yeah, they're evil. One good thing that seems to be coming out of the tragedy from DC is that people are starting to wake up, it seems like. Not just military, but just average people that have never served. But they're starting to wake up to the fact that we have an Islamic problem here in America. Look at Dearborn, Michigan. That's ground zero. And quite frankly, we are now the American people, the American culture. We are the frog in the pot, and that water is starting to boil. Now, right now, the water's still feeling pretty good. Not too bad. But my friends, the temperature is just going to continue to rise until we figure out a solution to this Islamic radical issue that we have in America. And it is spreading like cancer. And I don't mean to sound hyperbolic, but I don't really think I am. So we've got a few clips talking about all this. And yeah, we need to wake up, my friends.
Specialist Sarah L. Beckstrom, end of watch, November 27th, 2025. You stood your post like a damn warrior. You did your duty. Now you're gone. And you lost your life because of a failure in leadership, starting with Joe Biden and his open door disaster that flung the gates wide open and let the wolves right in. They put you in the crosshairs, but your blood stains their mistakes, every drop. And they'll point the finger while your family shatters. But this isn't about them right now. This is about you, Sarah Beckstrom. You didn't blink, you didn't break, you didn't hide behind some bureaucrat's memo. You carried the fire, Sarah. And I'm so sorry. Our leaders failed you. The politicians betrayed you. The vetting process failed you. But you never failed. You held the line and paid the ultimate price without a whisper of regret. Your watch is over. Rest fierce, warrior. And remember why she fell. I always will. Rest in peace, Sarah Beckstrom.
I'll say it. Senator Mark Kelly, you're a piece of shit. Actually, all of you Democrats are, especially you ones that served in the military that have now painted a big bullseye on the backs of National Guard members, military members, federal agents, and police officers. We now have 2 dead National Guard members because of you and your rhetoric. Mark Kelly, you claim that the violence is coming because of Donald Trump's rhetoric, but yet the violence seems to be coming from your side. It's you, Mark Kelly, that said that Donald Trump was using the military against U.S. citizens when you know that's a bold-faced lie. You told military service members you don't have to abide by illegal orders. You did that for the low-information, leftist, violent, progressive Antifa member that supports your party to think that Donald Trump is giving illegal orders. But when all of you are asked what illegal orders specifically, none of you come up with any answers whatsoever. It's you guys that have said to go out and to disrupt and to get in the way of the officers and create chaos when they're trying to execute their warrants. It's Donald Trump and our military that are trying to clean up the streets from the millions of illegals that came into our country and the criminals, and the fact that we have drug cartels and gang members in every single state in the United States because of the failures of your party. It's you guys on the left claiming that our military service members are acting like Gestapo on behalf of a Nazi dictator authoritarian president, which is meant to create this type of chaos and havoc in our streets. We now have 2 dead members, and the blood is on you because you're supposed to be brothers and sisters in arms, and you should be on your knees groveling for forgiveness for what you just caused and your lies and your rhetoric. It's despicable.
For all of you little pathetic bitches crying about the military in your city, it's about to get 10 times worse. I'm in the middle of Bible study, and I got to find out 2 of our National Guardsmen were shot. I don't know the status of those individuals. Prayers for those individuals. To the assholes on the left, this blood is on your hands. Your constant rhetoric, your constant Nazi this, racist that, fascist this. They're kidnapping people. You did this shit. To the 6 assholes in the Democrat Party that tried to sway our military, you should be charged with treason. And the punishment for treason is death. To the asshole that harmed our National Guardsmen, you should be hung publicly. The constant call to violence from the left is the reason we are in this predicament. And until those individuals are held accountable, nothing will change. For years, these liberals have ran rampant because they had liberal privilege. That needs to stop. To our military, we the people on the right side of history, we stand with you. And we are ready for our call to action. I love all of you. I'm your Huckleberry.
You Democrats are why this shit keeps happening. Why do people have to continue to lose their lives over their opinions? You don't even know who those 2 guardsmen even voted for. They could have very well been liberals, but you don't know that. But you got people like Jolly Good Ginger and Chris Valenti out here speaking on the matter like they're appalled at what happened. Your words are why this shit keeps happening. You keep adding fuel to the fire. You keep talking about people on the right like they're not even human beings. What do you think was going to happen? I mean, come on. Spare me your fake outrage. We know that you're actually celebrating this shit behind closed doors, because that's the sick kind of vile human beings you are. I suggest you just stop. Stop being a piece of shit. Stop fueling the fire. People are dying because of the things you say, and we've about had enough. If you pull the rest of us out of hibernation and we start to fight back, you motherfuckers are going to be in for a world of hurt. That's all I got to say. But I suggest you just shut your mouths. Stay out of this one. You're the reason it keeps happening.
That's weird. Mine says love thy neighbor. Yours says to kill him if he doesn't believe. Well, that really seems to be the crux of the problem.
I just got done listening to Ilhan Omar talk about how horrible and terrible and dirty and everything else that this country is. Denigrating this country, denigrating half of the people in it. This country has been very kind, benevolent, and gracious to her and countless others. We gave her asylum. We gave her a place to live. We gave her an education. We gave her a pathway to become a sitting United States congressman. But to me, it goes deeper than that. See, I'm an Iraq and Afghanistan veteran. I was 22 years old when those planes flew into those buildings, and me and thousands of other young men across this country answered the call to go over there and combat this evil that was on our shores, that had finally hit us. And what we were told over and over again is that we go over there and we fight them over there, we will not have to fight them here. And now here we are. We're retired. We're out. We're ready to start pursuing a life of our own. And what does this country do to that enemy that we went over there and we fought to keep over there because that's what we were told? We kissed our families goodbye. I watched my wife cry while I got on that bus to go to the airport or go to the airfield. I watched my son cry because he didn't know if or when he was going to see me again. And then I come home. I've been retired for 8 years. And I come home and what are we seeing? We're seeing entire communities being taken over by the very people that we fought to keep off of our shores. Dearborn Mission is completely freaking taken over. Now we have mosques in Minnesota, Texas, Missouri, all over the country, promoting Sharia law. Do we really have to tell people that Sharia law is incompatible with the United States Constitution? We were told that if we fought them over there, we would not have to fight them here. But what do we have? What did you do? You elected it mayor of New York. You gave it Senate seats in Minnesota. Now I want you to turn around. I want you to find an Iraq and Afghanistan veteran somewhere around you, and I want you to look them in the eye and tell them why they should not feel betrayed. Do it. I dare you.
This is just my personal opinion, and I do need to make that clear, but this kind of shit pisses me the off as an American citizen. You're telling me that we have 2 service members that are now in the hospital in critical condition because of an immigrant. Where's that immigrant from again? Oh, Afghanistan. Where do his allegiances lie? Oh, Afghanistan. Oh, that's crazy. It's almost like we said that the people coming here that are majority men, military aged, are not coming here to assimilate. They're coming here for other reasons. So as an American citizen, can we call it what the it is right now? Can we call it what is actually happening? Because I'm so sick and tired of people saying, oh my gosh, well, it's not everybody. Yeah, I understand that, but the exception is not the rule, and it never will be.
So I just heard the news that 2 National Guards were shot today at the White House. When are these Democrats going to be held responsible for anything they do? This isn't okay. Yes, we see you guys. You guys are proving who you are daily. But you don't have to take people's lives because you don't agree with their political stance. You don't have to do that. That's why I always run around saying you're the domestic terrorist of the United States of America. It's exhausting what you guys have done and are doing since Donald Trump took office. It's not cute. What is this showing everybody? What do you think this is showing everybody? Huh? Unstable. You guys can't take the reins of our country because you're showing how you're unstable when you don't have the reins. You understand? It's just, it's so sad the way the Democratic Party's acting. They're acting like a bunch of criminals. Let's just hold them accountable. Because about now, something needs to be done.
Well, surprise, surprise, the man who shot and killed 2 National Guards today was an Afghan national who shouted Allah Akbar before shooting them. This is a huge problem we are having in America. This is why we need secure borders. This is why cities need National Guard. I saw someone tweeting today saying, oh, well, the National Guard shouldn't have been deployed, blah, blah, blah. They should have been at home with their families. You know what? Maybe if cities like DC, Chicago, Los Angeles, maybe if they actually had their cities under control and they didn't just have criminals running around, maybe if they didn't just let everyone into the country, we wouldn't have this problem. And before you come at me saying, well, Trump doesn't need to deploy the National Guard everywhere, here's an idea. How about we stop with these soft on crime policies where the criminals are let out after 72 hours and these sanctuary city policies where they just let everyone in without being vetted? At what point is enough enough? Because I am so sick and tired of seeing innocent people getting killed by immigrants, getting killed by Islamist extremists, getting killed by people who have been in jail over 40 times. Like, at what point do we stop this nonsense? And FYI, not everything is Trump's fault, okay?
Yeah, there's no nice way to make this video, but honestly, I really don't give a about being nice right now, because all you jerk-offs out there that post your shit day in and day out about how, you know, the National Guard, they're gonna just start taking innocent people, and oh yeah, we're locking up innocent people who do nothing wrong, and oh my god, this administration, and oh my god, and you 6 motherfucking jerk-offs that made that video about the, you know, don't worry about the illegal orders that you have people now convinced that the military is carrying out illegal orders. You should probably go yourself right about now, okay? And let me tell you something. You make the post because you want to make your money, you want to make your clicks. You got to, you know, prove that you're somehow something. Meanwhile, nobody even knows who you are in real life because you're all a bunch of losing jerk-offs anyway. But now you're going to come out, now you're going to say, oh, I'm so sorry. We should pray. We should pray for them. It's the guns. No, it's not. It's your bullshit. It's you. It's because you're money-hungry little dirtbags who... I'm aggravated right now, and I really don't need to have people staring at me, but let me tell you something. Now is not the time for you to start with your bullshit, okay? It's not the guns. It's the crazy people who listen to the bullshit that you spew out there, that you put out there because you got to make your little payment, you know, with your social media clicks. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And you know what? I hope there's some kind of law that you get held accountable. Like if you say something and then, you know, makes people like you guys tried to do with Trump, you twisted his words, you manipulated the videos to make it look like he was inciting violence. Meanwhile, you guys are the people inciting violence. You're disgusting. And now there's families on Thanksgiving tomorrow that are not going to have innocent family members with them because of your bullshit. I hope you're happy. I hope you have sleep apnea and you don't wake up, you bunch of pieces of shit.
We're going to look at just a couple videos that really kind of highlight some of the problems that we have especially with Sharia law courts going on in Texas, which should be completely illegal, especially since Texas banned anything Sharia law related, yet these courts apparently are still going on, and that is a little terrifying, and we should really, really be worried about that.
Just a friendly reminder to take your Muslim repellent today.
That's good advice. We should all do that. And this is why. And keep in mind, my friends, that was not in the Middle East. That was here in America. And here is just a few words from the imams and the Islamic leaders about exactly what they're going to do here in America. They're not hiding it. They're in plain sight talking openly about it. Yet nobody seems to be listening, especially our leaders. Check it out.
Through Congress. So before it was by the sword, now it's getting themselves into parliament and then making laws that act as the sword, the Islamophobia law in Canada, M103.
Yeah.
Muslim Brotherhood.
I find that there are only two things which are open to our movements. Ballot or bullet, nothing in between.
I used to say that democracy is haram. Now I say participation in democracy is our jihad. That's our jihad. We're going to fight not through the bullets, but the ballots.
Going to the ballot and voting is now an obligatory action, fard ayn. And it is a jihad that is now needs to be done because this is our modern jihad. You can elect a person who wants the Sharia.
Because in the United States, what we do know is that in the past election, just this last election, there have been over 800 Muslim candidates running for office.
We may end up with about 50 members of Congress in the next 6 years. That's really the essence of dismantling the system of injustice, is to replace it with the people who represent the Prophet ﷺ.
Texas, by the end of the decade, will have more mosques than any other state in the U.S. At the moment, California, I think, has got around 400 mosques. Texas is around 350. But Texas added 50 mosques over the last 24 months, and that is rapidly increasing. In Irving, where I was...
Hang on, slow down. They've added how many mosques in the last 24 months? How many?
48 mosques in the last 24 months, and that is rapidly increasing. Rapidly increasing. And where I was...
Hang on, they're opening multiple mosques per month in the state of Texas?
Yes, and this is not Epic City issue, which is one area that everyone is focusing on, thank God. This is across, and this is primarily in the Dallas, Houston area, and of course down in Austin. This is in the urban areas. I think there the huge amount of, I need to look at my figures, but there are around 200 mosques, 215 mosques, I think, that are now in the Dallas, Houston area, and around 100 plus mosques in Austin. And where I was in Irving, which is kind of between Fort Worth and Dallas, just by the airport, by DFW, there are 2 Sharia courts operating. And I know that your viewers and listeners, Steve, will think, because of the rhetoric coming out from the Republican Party, that actually there's a stop on any Sharia courts. That is not happening. There's a stop on Epic City. This is not happening in Texas. But yet there are 2 Sharia courts. One of them has, I think, ruled on 200 cases in the last year. The other one ruled on 100. And these are voluntary.
Hang on. You can't have Sharia courts here in the United States of America. How do we have 2 Sharia courts that are actually, handing down decisions and verdicts in the great state of Texas, sir?
Because as in the UK, we have moved away as natives from certain areas because the police are too busy, the courts are too busy, the local authorities are too busy. And if a community will deal with their issues, then we will accept that. Now, these verdicts are not legally binding, just as in the UK and the 85 Sharia courts, they're not legally binding, but they are binding for those communities, because these women, they don't speak English. They don't have any clue that there is a world outside. They may live in Texas, but really they live in 7th century Arabia. That's all they know. So positionally they're in the USA, but mentally, emotionally, legally, they are back in the Middle East. That is my concern. So Islam enters in the back door and we lock the front door, and it's not enough.
It's time for Dave's Detox. Nice. Looks like a baby reindeer. It's cute. What's going on? Yeah. Aww. Aww.
Blue.
That's awesome.
Yell at me.
That's funny.
Go to the dog park?
Jeez Louise. Wow, baby almost blended in with those dogs. Oh my goodness. Okay, what's going on there?
Oh,
yeah.
You're a good girl.
Watson,
are you a good boy? Is Harry a good boy? Is Kiko a good boy?
So cute.
Is he a good boy?
Come on, I've got you. Some Crocodile bags, okay? Greens go. Going out.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and for all those that subscribed, thank you very much. And if you hit that thumbs up button, I do appreciate it. Now listen, before you take off, there's going to be a couple of videos showing up right around here and right around here in just a second. I think you're going to enjoy them. And until the next episode, stay safe, know that you're loved and appreciated. And until we meet again, have a great day.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear.